Jackson District Library, Sarah Tackett. Hey, Sarah.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. We have library people here a couple days this week.
Well, we're busy down the block and around the county.
Yeah, in fact, you're ramping up for the summer reading program.
We are. We're really excited about our summer reading program for all ages this year, and we're kicking it off on the 8th of June, Saturday, 8th of June from noon to 2 at our Meyer branch on the west side of Jackson, and really looking for a fun summer, exploring a lot of space activities, kind of in honor of the 50th moon landing anniversary this year.
And also, it's not just kids that participate in the summer reading program. It's you have an adult orientation to it too.
Yep, we have prizes for that adults can also read and win. So we're looking forward to getting families to also parents to read with their children, and then can read on their own too.
What's the recommendation for adults? How much should we read this summer?
Every day.
Okay. Are you reading? Do you have a book you're reading right now?
I do. It's called The Guest Book, and it's a historical fiction that kind of spans the 20s to we're up into the 50s and 60s now, and it's a family history and has a little of World War II in it, and kind of just the changes in the generations as things pass on to you. It focuses around a family home that's on an island up in Maine, and kind of how the family changes over the years.
Neat, sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite type of book?
I read a little broadly. I like fiction, but I also like to read some nonfiction and memoirs and stories about people doing things and doing different things. I've read a lot of books over the years on climbing Mount Everest. That's I love reading about that. Not that I think I'll ever do that, but hearing about other people having adventures that way is a fun reading for me.
Not on your bucket list?
Not on my bucket list. Maybe just to see it someday could be, but not to climb it. That seems really hard.
Yes, I would not have any interest in doing that.
Yep.
Well, you've got some big plans. You are doing some image planning. You have a plan for a new look for all your branches. What's that all about?
Well, thanks to our millage a few years ago being renewed and the increase, we've been looking at the different our different facilities and ways we can update and refresh them. We've been working really hard over the years to keep everything updated, but when we want to continue that project, we kind of discovered that sometimes we'd pick certain colored paints or carpets, and we want to make that a little more cohesive. So we engaged to work with an architect firm to help us do some planning, so there's a little more of a cohesive look among the branches, but still the unique buildings and spaces we're in and communities to still honor that and respect that. So the architects we're working with are KRM, and they have offices in Detroit. They're kind of based in Indiana, but they also are kind of Midwest based, and they specialize in libraries. So really looking at kind of coming in with some fresh eyes and learning about us. It's kind of nice. They'll be able to kind of help us make our facilities the best they can be for our community.
Yeah, that is challenging because, as you said, every single one of your locations is distinctly different. There's not two that are alike at all.
Right, and we did such a nice job, I think, with the Meyer branch a couple years ago that we want to start looking at how we can work through some other projects and wanted to be able to do it in a kind of strategic and cohesive manner.
Well, we often will talk to your various branch managers, and each library has different days and different hours. I know that's something that you've wanted to change. You'd like to, in addition to getting all the look of the libraries the same, the times and days too.
Yeah, our board last night approved a plan to expand hours, add 43 hours of service around the county each week, and then also kind of align some of the hours in some locations. During our strategic planning a few years ago, we heard from the community that the west side of the county, everybody was open on the same days, and so there was like Tuesdays and Thursdays, there's no libraries open out there. So we wanted to work with our branch managers, and they worked with their communities and did some kind of mini surveys with people coming in, like if we were a Tuesday or a Thursday, what would that look like? So really used a lot of information in our data to look at our door counts and our circulation to see where we need more hours. Our Spring Arbor branch is one that's very incredibly busy, and we're adding 2 days of service to that location. We're really excited about being able to add Sunday hours to the Carnegie Library downtown.
Oh, wow.
So we wanted to, kind of the same way we have at our Meyer and East branch, like a 1 to 5 on a Sunday, that it would be open in the afternoon. So we're looking forward to that. All these hours will go into effect after Labor Day, so we can get through our summer reading, and then we can do the planning that we need to do to make sure we can deliver the hours. So we have a plan also to hire 6 new library assistants to help us at different locations, so we have enough staff to really be able to provide this and expand our service.
Yeah, because some of your branches, they share library managers. So
Yep.
when they're closed, they're back and forth.
Yeah, and some of those branches were the ones that it'll help the manager a little bit by having some of these staggering the hours differently, and adding some staff also then to support the additional hours in some locations too.
All right, we have some pictures from last year's summer reading event, and I think this was actually the closing ceremony,
It was.
right?
Uh-oh, there I am.
After a long summer of
It
Libraries
was.
Rock. Space this year. And the actual 50th anniversary, the day of the moon landing, July 20th, are you going to be doing
I
something
think
special?
there's some activities around that day too. We have our kickoff event, like I said, at Meyer, and then we will have a wrap-up event the beginning of August too, so in the park again, so it'll be a good time.
Nice. And everything, it's all free.
It's all free.
All free. And you usually have food and pizza or
These
hot dogs or
snacks
something.
and things, and we're looking at food trucks for the end of the summer one too, when people come out for the evening.
All right, that's kicking off June 8th, that's Saturday, at the Meyer Branch from noon till 2.
Mm-hmm.
The Bookmobile, that's something that went away like decades ago.
Yep.
And there are people here that remember it fondly. There are others that have no knowledge that such a thing existed, but you want to bring it back.
We are in the planning process to bring Bookmobile service back to Jackson County. It went away in the early 80s when it became less. It got to the point where the Bookmobile needed replaced, and was it worth it? And the funding and everything, the budgets were tight, and they had just consolidated the library, so they focused on the physical locations. But we know there's parts of our community that have a hard time getting to some of our branches, even though we have 13. There's still pockets even within the city of Jackson, of folks who might not be able to get to the library easily. Our seniors, of course, we do some delivery services with a lot of the senior centers, but to be able to provide service to them. And then we also are looking to work with our schools a little bit more, and a lot of the schools, their libraries are in transition and not, we want to get as many books to kids as we can. We do a delivery right now of materials to preschools and daycares, which normally don't have libraries. So we're doing a hefty service there already, and we want to figure out better ways to do that also. So by having that experience of actually coming on to the Bookmobile and being able to pick out your own books and have them back with the kids in the classrooms, we want to create that experience too.
Are you going to drive it?
Maybe sometime. We're planning to build a vehicle, or have, you don't go to the Bookmobile store. You have to design it and have it designed. So So we're planning on building a vehicle that is not too big, so it can go into a lot of places and be accessible also, and so hopefully not intimidating for people like me to drive it too, because I'd like to drive it someday.
Well, we've had a lot of talk about development around the library in the Carnegie District. Is there anything new? Has your board taken any action on anything like buildings or parking decks or anything?
We're just exploring whatever options we can through kind of our facilities planning of what we can do to refresh around Carnegie and the administration building. We got a sprinkler system on the Carnegie line yesterday. That's been something that's been on the list for a while, so we can keep that little patch of green up this summer a little bit easier. We're still working with the city on some plans, but we're kind of early on that. So, but we really, by expanding service downtown on Sundays, we're dedicated to looking for all the ways we can provide the best service.
And I think as part of cruise night, you and the Friends will have a table out in front of the Carnegie branch tonight.
Yeah, the Friends have been active at all of our the cruise nights every month, and they sell books and help people learn more about the library and how to volunteer through the Friends group. So we're excited they're a partner with us. All
right, so come down and when you're cruising around downtown, check out the library and their display, and maybe you can even pick up a book for very little. What about this holiday weekend? Any big plans for the Tackett family?
We were on Mackinac Island last weekend at a conference, so we might lay low this weekend.
How was the weather?
It was cold and rainy, part of it. One day was nice, and so hopefully they have better weather up there this weekend.
Yeah, I know quite a few people either on their way or already up north this weekend, and hopefully they get decent, some part of the weekend, some decent weather.
I live close to the Cascades, so I'll be hearing the fireworks and seeing those from my house. So.
Well, have a great holiday.
Thank you, you too.
Thanks for the updates.
Thanks.
The director of the Jackson District Library, Sarah Tackett. Up next here.